Welcome back. The details. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi met on Saturday with the CEO of Norway's leading new and renewable power producer, Scatec. The meeting tackled the cooperation with the company in new and renewable energy projects and launching an electric energy production project that will produce 3 gigawatts electricity from wind energy. President el-Sisi stressed Egypt's keenness on cooperating with the Norwegian side due to its great experience in this field, with the state's unprecedented support to green energy sector as one of the main priorities to benefit from Egypt's resources of renewable energy from the wind and the sun. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi also gave his directive to provide all necessary facilities to speed up the process of implementing joint projects related to the green energy and to benefit from the advanced experiences of Australian companies in this regard. This came during the President's meeting with head of the Australian Fortescue Future Industries FFI energy company Andrew Forrest, in the presence of Minister of Electricity and Renewable Energy Dr. Mohammed Shakir al-Marqabi, Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources Dr. Tariq al-Mulla, and the Regional General Manager for the Middle East and North African region for the company Mu'taz Qandil. Presidential spokesperson Ambassador Bassam Radis in the meeting dealt with following up on the cooperation between the Australian company and the electricity sector in Egypt in the field of green hydrogen and green ammonia production, including a project to produce 9.2 gigawatts of electric power from new and renewable energy and the settlement of related industries. President of the Supreme Constitutional Court, Boulos Fahmy, hailed the continued success of the Cairo Sect high-level meeting for presidents of constitutional and Supreme Courts and African Constitutional Councils. He said the meeting reflects the determination of the Constitutional and Supreme Courts and African Constitutional Councils on attaining constitutional guarantees for the freedom and prosperity of people and their rights for developments. In his speech before opening session of the meeting, Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli said preserving natural resources has become an obligation for all African countries rather than an option amid global political and economic turbulences. The Prime Minister stressed the need for African countries to cooperate so as to make optimum use of the continent's resources with the aim of achieving sustainable development and progress for their people. Madbouli said the current meeting is part of the ongoing efforts over the past years to enhance cooperation among Supreme Constitutional institutions in African states to achieve their people's aspirations of freedom, justice, equality, and protection of human rights. The Premier also called for crystallizing legal and constitutional thoughts to limit the negative impacts of international disputes on economies of African countries.
Constitutional and Supreme Courts and African Constitutional Councils kicked off on Saturday. The meeting is hosted by the Supreme Constitutional Court under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. The meeting was attended by Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli, and as many as 40 African countries are taking part to represent 51 heads of constitutional courts and councils as well as Supreme Courts. The opening session was attended by the President of the Supreme Constitutional Court, Boulos Fahmy, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Hanafi Gebeli, Speaker of the Senate, Abdul Wahab Abdel Rezik, Foreign Minister Semah Shukri, Minister of Justice, Omar Marwan, and the SCC Vice President, Mohammed Ahmed al-Naggar, who is also the meeting's Secretary General. The meeting offers an opportunity to probe constitutional issues of mutual concern amongst African countries and aims to boost judicial, legal, and constitutional affairs in Africa. In his word before the attendees, the President of the Supreme Constitutional Court, Boulos Fahmy, announced the establishment of a permanent research forum to meet African visions, which is a mechanism that continues to exchange experiences and communicate amongst the heads of constitutional courts throughout the years. Meanwhile, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Hanafi Gebeli, expressed Egypt's gratitude for being a part of the African entity, stressing that the periodic meeting of African chiefs of courts as well as Supreme and Constitutional Councils has become a milestone in strengthening African judicial cooperation.
The National Dialogue's Board of Trustees will choose the rest of the rapporteurs and assistant rapporteurs for its subcommittees when it convenes on Saturday. The General Coordinator of the Dialogue, Dia Rashwan, said the meeting of the 19-member Board of Trustees, which will be its sixth since it was formed in late June, will also consider recent proposals submitted by some members to redivide some of the committees. During its last meeting, the board announced the selection of 6 rapporteurs and assistant rapporteurs for its political, social and economic track committees. The Board of Trustees will issue a detailed statement to the local and international press following the conclusion of their meeting.